The Life of Henry V, Act 4. Enter chorus. Now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. From camp to camp, through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds, that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their pally flames, each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed in high and boastful neighs, piercing the night's dull ear, and from the tents the armorers accomplishing the nights with busy hammers closing rivets up give dreadful note of preparation. The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning name. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and over-lusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and chide the crippled tardy-gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away. The poor condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger, and their gesture sad, investing lank lean cheeks in war-worn coats, presented them unto the gazing moon, so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry, praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes, and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded him, nor doth he dedicate one jot of color unto the weary and all-watched night, but freshly looks and overbears a taint with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every wretch, pining and pale before, beholding him plucks comfort from his looks. A largess universal like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to every one, thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold, as may unworthiness define, a little touch of Harry in the night, and so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill disposed in brawl ridiculous, the name of Agincourt. Yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. Enter the Scene 1. Enter the King, Bedford, and Gloucester. King Henry. Gloucester, 'tis true that we are in great danger. The greater therefore should our courage be. Good morrow, brother Bedford, God Almighty. There is some soul of goodness in things evil, would men observingly distill it out, for our bad neighbor makes us early stirrers, which is both healthful and good husbandry. Besides, There are our outward consciences, and preachers to us all, admonishing that we should dress us fairly for our end. Thus may we gather honey from the weed, and make a moral of the devil himself. Good morrow, old Sir Thomas Erpingham. A good soft pillow for that good white head were better than a churlish turf of France. Not so, my liege, this lodging likes me better, since I may say, now lie I like a king. 'Tis good for men to love their present pains, upon example, so the spirit is eased, and when the mind is quickened out of doubt, the organs, though defunct and dead before, break up their drowsy grave, and newly move with casted sloth and fresh legerity. Lend me thy cloak, Sir Thomas. Brothers both, commend me to the princes in our camp. Do my good morrow to them, and anon desire them all to my pavilion. We shall, my liege. Shall I attend your grace? No, my good knight. Go with my brothers to my lords of England. I and my bosom must debate a while, and then I would no other company. The Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Harry. God a mercy, old heart, thou speakest cheerfully. Qui alla, qui voula. A friend, discuss unto me, art thou officer, or art thou base, common, and popular? I am a gentleman of a company. Trailest thou the puissant pike? Even so, what are you? As good a gentleman as the emperor. Then you are a better than the king. The king's a bowcock, and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, of parents good, of fists most valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe, and from heart's string I love the lovely bully. What is thy name? Harry Le Roy. Le Roy? A Cornish name. Art thou of Cornish crew? No, I am a Welshman. Knowest thou Fluellen? Yes? Tell him I'll knock his leek about his pate upon St. Davy's Day. Do not you wear your dagger in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours. Art thou his friend? And his kinsman too? The figo for thee, then. I thank you. God be with you. My name is Pistol called. It sorts well with your fierceness. Captain Fluellen, so in the name of Jesu Christ, speak fewer. It is the greatest admiration in the universal world when the true and ancient prerogatives and laws of the wars is not kept. If you would take the pains but to examine the wars of Pompey the Great, you shall find, I warrant you, that there is no tittle-tattle nor pibble-babble in Pompey's camp. I warrant you, you shall find the ceremonies of wars, and the cares of it, and the forms of it, and the sobriety of it, and the modesty of it, to be otherwise. Why, the enemy is loud, you hear him all night. If the enemy is an ass and a fool, and a prating coxcomb, is it meet, think you, that we should also, look you, be an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb in your conscience now? I will speak lower. I pray you, and beseech you, that you will. Though it appear a little out of fashion, there is much care and valor in this Welshman. Brother John Bates, is not that the morning which breaks yonder? I think it be, but we have no great cause to desire the approach of day. We see yonder the beginning of the day, but I think we shall never see the end of it. Who goes there? A friend. Under what captain serve you? Under Sir Thomas Erpingham. A good old commander, and a most kind gentleman. I pray you, what thinks he of our estate? Even as men racked upon a sand that looked to be washed off the next tide, he hath not told his thought to the king. No, nor it is not meet he should. For though I speak it to you, I think the king is but a man as I am. The violet smells to him as it doth to me. The element shows to him as it doth to me. All his senses have but human conditions. His ceremonies laid by, in his nakedness he appears but a man. And though his affections are higher mounted than ours, yet when they stoop with the like wing. Therefore, when he sees reason of fears, as we do, his fears out of doubt be of the same relish as ours are. Yet in reason no man should possess him with any appearance of fear, lest he by showing it should dishearten his army. He may show what outward courage he will, but I believe, as cold a night as 'tis, he could wish himself in Thames up to the neck. And so I would he were, and I by him, at all adventures, so we were quit here. By my troth, I will speak my conscience of the king. I think he would not wish himself anywhere but where he is. Then I would he were here alone, so should he be sure to be ransomed, and many poor men's lives saved. I dare say you love him not so ill to wish him here alone. Howsoever you speak this to feel other men's minds, methinks I could not die anywhere so contented as in the king's company, his cause being just and his quarrel honorable. That's more than we know. Ay, or more than we should seek after, for we know enough, if we know we are the king's subjects. If his cause be wrong, our obedience to the king wipes the crime of it out of us. But if the cause be not good, the king himself hath a heavy reckoning to make, when all those legs and arms and heads chopped off in a battle shall join together at the later day, and cry all, we died at such a place, some swearing, some crying for a surgeon, some upon their wives left poor behind them, some upon the debts they owe, some upon their children rawly left. I am afeard there are few die well that die in a battle. For how can they charitably dispose of anything when blood is their argument? Now, if these men do not die well, it will be a black matter for the king that led them to it, who to disobey were against all proportion of subject. So, if a son that is by his father sent about merchandise do sinfully miscarry upon the sea, the imputation of his wickedness by your rule should be imposed upon his father that sent him. Or if a servant under his master's command transporting a sum of money be assailed by robbers and die in many irreconciled iniquities, you may call the business of the master the author of the servant's damnation. But this is not so. The king is not bound to answer the particular endings of his soldiers, the father of his son, nor the master of his servant. For they purpose not their death when they purpose their services. Besides, there is no king, be his cause never so spotless, if it come to the arbitrament of swords, can try it out with all unspotted soldiers. Some, peradventure, have on them the guilt of premeditated and contrived murder. Some of beguiling virgins with the broken seals of perjury. Some making the wars their bulwark, that have before gored the gentle bosom of peace with pillage and robbery. Now, if these men have defeated the law and outrun native punishment, though they can outstrip men, they have no wings to fly from God. War is his beetle, war is his vengeance, so that here men are punished for before breach of the king's laws in now the king's quarrel. Where they feared the death, they have borne life away, and where they would be safe, they perish. Then, if they die unprovided, no more is the king guilty of their damnation than he was before guilty of those impieties for the which they are now visited. Every subject's duty is the king's, but every subject's soul is his own. Therefore, should every soldier in the wars do as every sick man in his bed, wash every mote out of his conscience, and dying so, death is to him advantage, or not dying, the time was blessedly lost wherein such preparation was gained. And in him that escapes, it were not sin to think that making God so free an offer, he let him outlive that day to see his greatness and to teach others how they should prepare. 'Tis certain every man that dies ill, the ill upon his own head, the king is not to answer it. I do not desire he should answer for me, and yet I determined to fight lustily for him. I myself heard the king say he would not be ransomed. He said so, to make us fight cheerfully, but when our throats are cut, he may be ransomed, and we never the wiser. If I live to see it, I will never trust his word after. You pay him then. That's a perilous shot out of an elder gun, that a poor and a private displeasure can do against a monarch. You may as well go about to turn the sun to ice with fanning in his face with a peacock's feather. You'll never trust his word after. Come, 'tis a foolish saying. Your reproof is something too round. I should be angry with you, if the time were convenient. Let it be a quarrel between us, if you live. I embrace it. How shall I know thee again? Give me any gage of thine, and I will wear it in my bonnet. Then, if ever thou darest acknowledge it, I will make it my quarrel. Here's my glove, give me another of thine. There, this will I also wear in my cap. If ever thou come to me and say, after tomorrow, this is my glove, by this hand I will take thee a box on the ear. If ever I live to see it, I will challenge it. Thou darest as well be hanged. Well, I will do it, though I take thee in the king's company. Keep thy word, fare thee well. Be friends, you English fools, be friends. We have French quarrels enow, if you could tell how to reckon. Indeed, the French may lay 20 French crowns to one they will beat us, for they bear them on their shoulders, but it is no English treason to cut French crowns, and tomorrow the king himself will be a clipper. Upon the king! Let us our lives, our souls, our debts, our careful wives, our children, and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all, O hard condition, twin born with greatness, subject to the breath of every fool whose sense no more can feel but his own wringing. What infinite heart's ease must kings neglect that private men enjoy? And what have kings that privates have not too, save ceremony, save general ceremony? And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? What kind of God art thou, that sufferest more of mortal griefs than do thy worshippers? What are thy rents? What are thy comings in? O ceremony, show me but thy worth. What is thy soul of adoration? Art thou aught else but place, degree, and form, creating awe and fear in other men, wherein thou art less happy being feared than they in fearing? What drinkest thou oft, instead of homage sweet, but poisoned flattery? Oh, be sick, great greatness, and bid thy ceremony give thee cure. Think'st thou the fiery fever will go out with titles blown from adulation? Will it give place to flexure and low bending? Canst thou, when thou commandest the beggar's knee, command the health of it? No, thou proud dream, that playest so subtly with a king's repose. I am a king that find thee, and I know 'tis not the balm, the scepter, and the ball, the sword, the mace, the crown imperial, the intertissued robe of gold and pearl, the farced title running for the king, the throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. No, not all these, thrice gorgeous ceremony, not all these laid in bed majestical, can sleep so soundly as the wretched slave, who, with a body filled and vacant mind, gets him to rest crammed with distressful bread, never sees horrid night, the child of hell, but like a lackey from the rise to set, sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium, next day after dawn doth rise and help Hyperion to his horse, and follows so ever-running year with profitable labor to his grave, and but for ceremony, such a wretch, winding up days with toil and nights with sleep, had the forehand and vantage of a king. The slave, a member of the country's peace, enjoys it, but in gross brain little wots what watch the king keeps to maintain the peace, whose hours the peasant best advantages. My lord, your nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through your camp to find you. Good old knight, collect them all together at my tent. I'll be before thee. I shall do it, my lord. O God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts, possess them not with fear, take from them now the sense of reckoning, if the opposed numbers pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O Lord, oh, not today. Think not upon the fault my father made encompassing the crown. I, Richard's body, have interred new, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their withered hands hold up toward heaven to pardon blood, and I have built 2 chauntries, where the sad and solemn priests sing still for Richard's soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after nothing at all, imploring pardon. My liege, my brother Gloucester's voice, I know thy errand, I will go with thee. the day my friends and all things stay for me. Scene 2. Enter the Dolphin, Orleans, Ramburs, and Beaumont. The sun doth gild our armor up, my lords. Montez à cheval, my horse, varlot lackey. Ha! Oh, brave spirit, via les eaux et terres, rien puis l'air et feu. Sires, cousin Orleans, now my lord constable. Hark how our steeds for present service neigh. Mount them and make incision on their hides, that their hot blood may spin in English eyes, and doubt them with superfluous courage. Ha! What will you have them weep our horses' blood? How shall we then behold their natural tears? The English are embattled, you French peers. To horse, you gallant princes, straight to horse. Do but behold yond poor and starved band, and your fair show shall suck away their souls, leaving them but the shales and husks of men. There is not work enough for all our hands, scarce blood enough in all their sickly veins to give each naked curtal axe a stain, that our French gallants shall today draw out, and sheathe for lack of sport. Let us but blow on them, the vapor of our valor will overturn them. 'Tis positive against all exceptions, lords, that our superfluous lackeys and our peasants, who in unnecessary action swarm about our squares of battle, were enow to purge this field of such a hilding foe. Though we upon this mountain's basis by took stand for idle speculation, but that our honors must not, what's to say? A very little let us do, and all is done. Then let the trumpet sound, the tucket sonnets, and the note to mount, for our approach shall so much dare the field, that England shall crouch down in fear and yield. Why do you stay so long, my lords of France? Yond island carrions, desperate for their bones, ill-favoredly become the morning field. Their ragged curtains poorly are let loose, and our air shakes them passing scornfully. Big Mars seems bankrupt in their beggared host, and faintly through a rusty beaver peeps. The horsemen sit like fixed candlesticks, with torched staves in their hands, and their poor jades lob down their heads, dropping the hides and hips, the gum down roping from their pale dead eyes, and in their pale dull mouths the gimmald bit lies foul with chawed grass, still and motionless, and their executors, the knavish crows, fly over them all, impatient for their hour. Description cannot suit itself in words to demonstrate the life of such a battle, in life so liveless as it shows itself. They have said their prayers, and they stay for death. Shall we go send them dinners and fresh suits, and give their fasting horses provender, and after fight with them? I stay but for my get on to the field. I will the banner from a trumpet take, and use it for my haste. Come, come away. The sun is high, and we outwear the day. Scene 3. Enter Gloucester, Bedford, Exeter, Erpingham with all his hosts, Salisbury and Westmoreland. Gloucester. Where is the king? The king himself is rode to view their battle. Of fighting men they have full 60,000. There's 5 to 1 besides, they all are fresh. God's arms strike with us, 'tis a fearful odds. God by you, princes all, I'll to my charge. If we no more meet till we meet in heaven, then joyfully my noble lord of Bedford, my dear lord Gloucester, and my good lord Exeter, and my kind kinsmen warriors all adieu. Farewell, good Salisbury, and good luck go with thee. Farewell, kind lord, fight valiantly today. And yet I do thee wrong to mind thee of it, for thou art framed of the firm truth of valor. He is as full of valor as of kindness, princely in both. Oh, that we know had here but 1/10,000 of those men in England that do no work today. What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enow to do our country loss, and if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my cause, wish not a man from England. God's peace, I would not lose so great an honor as one man more methinks would share from me, for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart, his passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and arouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall see this day and live old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors, and say, "Tomorrow is Saint Crispian." Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars, and say, "These wounds I had on Crispin's day." Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall never go by, from this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he never so vile. This day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhood's cheap wiles any speaks that fought with us upon Saint Crispin's day. My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battles set, and will with all expedients charge on us. All things are ready if our minds be so. Perish the man whose mind is backward now. Thou dost not wish more help from England, cause God's will, my liege, would you and I alone, without more help, could fight this royal battle. Why, now thou hast unwished 5,000 men, which likes me better than to wish us one. You know your places, God be with you all. Once more I come to know of thee, King Harry, if for thy ransom thou wilt now compound before thy most assured overthrow, for certainly thou art so near the gulf, thou needs must be englutted. Besides, in mercy, the constable desires thee thou wilt mind thy followers of repentance, that their souls may make a peaceful and a sweet retire from off these fields, where wretches their poor bodies must lie and fester. Who hath sent thee now? The Constable of France. I pray thee bear my former answer back. Bid them achieve me, and then sell my bones. Good God, why should they mock poor fellows thus? The man that once did sell the lion's skin, while the beast lived, was killed with hunting him. A many of our bodies shall no doubt find native graves, upon the which I trust shall witness live in brass of this day's work. And those that leave their valiant bones in France, dying like men, though buried in your dunghills, they shall be famed, for there the sun shall greet them, and draw their honors reeking up to heaven, leaving their earthly parts to choke your clime, the smell whereof shall breed a plague in France. Mark then abounding valor in our English, that being dead, like to the bullets crassing, break out into a second course of mischief, killing in relapse of mortality. Let me speak proudly. Tell the constable we are but warriors for the working day. Our gayness and our guilt are all besmirched with rainy marching in the painful field. There's not a piece of feather in our host. Good argument, I hope, we will not fly, and time hath worn us into slovenry. But by the mass our hearts are in the trim, and my poor soldiers tell me, yet ere the night, they'll be in fresher robes, or they will pluck the gay new coats over the French soldiers' heads, and turn them out of service. If they do this, as if God please, they shall my ransom then will soon be levied. Herald, save thou thy labor. Come thou no more for ransom, gentle herald. They shall have none, I swear, but these my joints, which if they have as I will leave on them, shall yield them little, tell the constable. I shall, King Harry, and so fare thee well. Thou never shalt hear herald any more. I fear thou wilt once more come again for a ransom. My lord, most humbly on my knee I beg the leading of the voward. Take it, brave York. Now, soldiers, march away, and how thou pleaseth, God dispose the day. Scene 4. Alarum excursions into pistol French soldier ball. Pistol. Yield, cur. Je pense que vous êtes le gentilhomme de bonne qualité. Qualité, custom. Art thou a gentleman? What is thy name? Discuss. Oh, Seigneur Dieu. Oh, Signy Dew should be a gentleman. Perpend my words, O Signy Dew. And mark, O Signy Dew, thou diest on point of fox, except, O Signier, thou do give me egregious ransom. Oh, prenez miséricorde, ayez pitié de moi. Moi shall not serve, I will have 40 mois, or I will fetch thy rim out at thy throat in drops of crimson blood. Et il impossible d'échapper le force de ton bras? Bras que thou damned and luxurious mountain goat offerest me brass? Oh, pardonnez-moi. Sayest thou me so? Is that a ton of mois? Come hither, boy, ask me this slave in French, what is his name? Écoutez, comment êtes-vous appelé? Monsieur le Fer. He says his name is Master Fair. Master Fair! I'll fair him, I'll firk him, and ferret him. Discuss the same in French unto him. I do not know the French for fur, and ferret, and firk. Bid him prepare, for I will cut his throat. Que dit-il, monsieur? Il me commande à vous dire que vous faites-vous prêt, car ce soldat ici est disposé tout à cette heure de couper votre gorge. Ah oui, couper les gorges, before, peasant, peasant, unless thou give me crowns, brave crowns, or mangled shalt thou be by this my sword. Oh, je vous supplie, pour l'amour de Dieu, mais pardonnez, je suis le gentilhomme de bonne maison. Gardez ma vie, et je vous donnerai 200 écus. What are his words? He prays you to save his life. He is a gentleman of a good house, and for his ransom he will give you 200 crowns. Tell him my fury shall abate, and I the crowns will take. Petit monsieur, quoi dit-il? Encore qu'il ait compté son jurement de pardonner aucun prisonnier. Néanmoins, pour les écus que vous lui promettez, il est content à vous donner la liberté et le franchissement. Sur mes genoux, je vous donne 1000 remerciements, et je m'estime heureuse que je tombe chez les mains d'un chevalier, je pense le plus brave, valiant et très distingué seigneur d'Angleterre. Expound unto me, boy. He gives you upon his knees 1,000 thanks, and he esteems himself happy that he hath fallen into the hands of one as he thinks the most brave, valorous, and thrice worthy seigneur of England. As I suck blood, I will some mercy show. Follow me. Suivez-vous le grand capitaine? Exeunt pistol, fresh soldier. I did never know so full a voice issue from so empty a heart, but the saying is true. The empty vessel makes the greatest sound. Bardolph and Nym had 10 times more valor than this roaring devil I the old play, that every one may pare his nails with a wooden dagger, and they are both hanged. And so would this be if he durst steal anything adventurously. I must stay with the lackeys with the luggage of our camp. The French might have a good prey of us, if he knew of it, for there is none to guard it but boys. Scene 5. Enter Constable, Orleans, Bourbon, Dolphin, and Ramburs. Constable. Oh, diable! Oh, Seigneur, le jour est perdu, tu es perdu. Mon Dieu, ma vie, all is confounded, all. Reproach and everlasting shame sits mocking in our plumes. Oh, méchante fortune, do not run away. Why, all our ranks are broken. Oh, pédérable shame, let's stab ourselves. Be these the wretches that we played at dice? For is this the king we sent to for his ransom? Shame and eternal shame, nothing but shame. Let us die, and once more back again. And he that will not follow Bourbon now, let him go hence, and with his cap in hand, like a base pander, hold the chamber door, whilst by a slave, and no gentler than my dog, his fairest daughter is contaminated. Disorder that hath spoiled us, friend us now. Let us on heaps go offer up our lives. We are enow yet living in the field to smother up the English in our throngs, if any order might be thought upon. The devil take order now, I'll to the throng. Let life be short, else shame will be too long. Scene 6. Alarum, enter the king and his train with prisoners, Exeter and others. King Henry. Well have we done, thrice valiant countrymen, but all's not done, yet keep the French the field. The Duke of York commends him to your majesty. Lives he, good uncle, thrice within this hour I saw him down, thrice up again, and fighting. From helmet to the spur, all blood he was. In which array, brave soldier, doth he lie, larding the plain, and by his body's bloody side, yoke fellow, to his honour owing wounds, the noble Earl of Suffolk also lies. Suffolk first died, and York, all haggled over, comes to him where in gore he lay ensteeped, and takes him by the beard, kisses the gashes that bloodily did yawn upon his face. He cries aloud, Tarry, my cousin Suffolk, my soul shall thine keep company to heaven. Tarry, sweet soul, for mine, then fly abreast, as in this glorious and well-foughten field we keep together in our chivalry. Upon these words I came and cheered him up. He smiled me in the face, wrought me his hand, and with a feeble gripe says, Dear my lord, commend my service to my sovereign. So did he turn, and over Suffolk's neck he threw his wounded arm, and kissed his lips, and so espoused to death, with blood he sealed, a testament of noble ending love. The pretty and sweet manner of it forced those waters from me which I would have stopped, but I had not so much of man in me, and all my mother came into mine eyes, and gave me up to tears. I blame you not, for hearing this I must perforce compound with mistful eyes, or they will issue too. But hark, what new alarum is this same? The French have reinforced their scattered men. Then every soldier kill his prisoners. Give the word through. Scene 7. Enter Flulin and Gower. Flulin. Kill the boys and the luggage. 'Tis expressly against the law of arms. 'Tis as errant a piece of knavery, mark you now, as can be offered in your conscience. Now is it not? 'Tis certain there's not a boy left alive, and the cowardly rascals that ran from the battle have done the slaughter. Besides, they have burned and carried away all that was in the king's tent, wherefore the king most worthily hath caused every soldier to cut his prisoner's throat. Oh, 'tis a gallant king. He was born at Monmouth, Captain Gower. What to call you the town's name where Alexander the Pig was born? Alexander the Great. Why, I pray you, is not pig great? Is the pig or great, or the mighty, or the huge, or the magnanimous, are all one reckonings, save the phrase is a little variations. I think Alexander the Great was born in Macedon. His father was called Philip of Macedon, as I take it. I think it is in Macedon where you Alexander is born. I tell you, Captain, if you look in the maps of the oral world, I warrant you shall find, in the comparisons between Macedon and Monmouth, that the situations, look you, is both alike. There is a river in Macedon, and there is also, moreover, a river in Monmouth. It is called Wye at Monmouth. But it is out of my brains what is the name of the other river. But 'tis all one, 'tis alike as my fingers is to my fingers, and there is salmons in both. If you mark Alexander's life well, Harry of Monmouth's life is come after it indifferent well. For there is figures in all things. Alexander, God knows, and you know, in his rages, and his furies, and his wraths, and his chollers, and his moods, and his displeasures, and his indignations, and also being little intoxicated in his praise, did in his ails and in his angers, look you, kill his best friend Clytus. Oh. Oh, God. Our king is not like him in that he never killed any of his friends. It is not well done, mark you now, to take the tails out of my mouth ere it is made and finished. I speak but in in the figures and comparisons of it. As Alexander killed his friend Clytus, being in his ales and in his cups, so also Harry Monmouth, being in his right wits and his good judgments, turned away the fat knight with a great belly doublet. He was full of jests and gipes and knaveries and mocks. I have forgot his name. Sir John Falstaff. That is he. I'll tell you, there is good men at porn at Monmouth. Here comes his majesty. I was not angry since I came to France, until this instant. Take a trumpet, herald, ride thou unto the horsemen on yond hill. If they will fight with us, bid them come down, or void the field, they do offend our sight. If they'll do neither, we will come to them, and make them skir away as swift as stones, enforced from the old Assyrian slings. Besides, we'll cut the throats of those we have, and not a man of them that we shall take shall taste our mercy. Go tell them so. Here comes the herald of the French, my liege. His eyes are humbler than they used to be. How now? What means this, herald? Knowest thou not that I have fined these bones of mine for ransom? Comest thou again for ransom? No, great king, I come to thee for charitable license, that we may wander over this bloody field, to book our dead, and then to bury them, to sort our nobles from our common men. For many of our princes, woe the while, lie drowned and soaked in mercenary blood. So do our vulgar drench their peasant limbs in blood of princes, and their wounded steeds fetlock deep in gore, and with wild rage yerk out their armored heels at their dead masters, killing them twice. Oh, give us leave, great king, to view the field in safety, and dispose of their dead bodies. I tell thee truly, herald, I know not if the day be ours or no, for yet a many of your horsemen peer and gallop over the field. The day is yours. Praised be God, and not our strength, for it. What is this castle called that stands hard by? They call it Agincourt. Then call we this the field of Agincourt, fought on the day of Crispin Crispinus, your grandfather of famous memory, and it please your majesty, and your great uncle Edward, the Black Prince of Wales, as I have read in the chronicles, fought a most brave battle here in France. They did, Fluellen. Your majesty says very true. If your majesties is remembered of it, the Welshmen did a good service in a garden where leeks did grow, wearing leeks in their Monmouth caps, which your majesty know to this hour is an honorable badge of the service. And I do believe your majesty takes no scorn to swear the leek upon St. Taffy's day. I wear it for a memorable honor, for I am Welsh, you know, good countryman. All the water in Wye cannot wash your majesty's Welsh blood out of your body. I can tell you that. God bless it, and preserve it, as long as it please your grace, and his majesty too. Thanks, good my countryman, by Jesu, I am your majesty's countryman. I care not who know it. I will confess it to the old world. I need not to be ashamed of your majesty. Praised be God, so long as your majesty is an honest man. Keep me so, God. Our heralds go with him. Bring me just notice of the numbers dead on both our parts. Call yonder fellow hither. Soldier, you must come to the king. Soldier, why wearest thou that glove in thy cap? And it please your majesty, 'tis the gage of one that I should fight withal, if he be alive. An Englishman? And it please your majesty, a rascal that swaggered with me last night, who, if alive and ever dare to challenge this glove, I have sworn to take him a box of the ear. Or if I can see my glove in his cap, which he swore, as he was a soldier, he would wear if alive, I will strike it out soundly. What think you, Captain Flulin? Is it fit this soldier keep his oath? He is a craven and a villain else, and it please your majesty, in my conscience. It may be his enemy is a gentleman of the great sort, quite from the answer of his degree. Though he be as good a gentleman as the devil is, as Lucifer and Beelzebub himself, it is a necessary, look your grace, that he keep his vow and his oath. If he be perjured, see you now, his reputation is as arrant a villain and a jack-sauce, as ever his black shoe did trod upon God's ground, and his earth, and in my conscience law. Then keep thy vow, sirrah, when thou meetest the fellow. So I will, my liege, as I live. Who servest thou under? Under Captain Gower, my liege. Gower is a good captain, and is good knowledge and literature in the wars. Call him hither to me, soldier. I will, my liege. Here, Flulin, wear thou this favour for me, and stick it in thy cap. When Alanson and myself were down together, I plucked this glove from his helm. If any man challenge this, he is a friend to Alanson, and an enemy to our person. If thou encounter any such, apprehend him, and thou dost me love. Your grace does me as great honours as can be desired in the hearts of his subjects. I would fain to see the man that has but 2 legs, that shall find himself aggrieved at this glove. That is all. But I would fain to see it once, and please God of his grace that I might see. Knowest thou Gower? He is my dear friend, and please you. Pray thee, go seek him, and bring him to my tent. I will fetch him. My Lord of Warwick and my brother Gloucester follow Flulin closely at the heels. The glove which I have given him for a favour may haply purchase him a box of the ear. It is the soldier's. I by bargain should wear it myself. Follow, good cousin Warwick, if that the soldier strike him, as I judge, by his blunt bearing he will keep his word. Some sudden mischief may arise of it, for I do know Flulin valiant, and touched with choler, hot as gunpowder, and quickly will return an injury. Follow, and see there be no harm between them. Go you with me, uncle of Exeter. Scene 8. Enter Gower and Williams. I warrant it is tonight you, Captain. God's will and his pleasure, Captain. I beseech you now, come apace to the king. There is more good news toward you peradventure than is in your knowledge to dream of. Sir, know you this glove? Know the glove. Ah, know the glove is the glove. I know this, and thus I challenge it. S'blood, an errant traitor as any's in the universal world, or in France, or in England. How now, sir, you villain? Do you think I'll be forsworn? Stand away, Captain Gower. I will give treason his payment unto blows, I warrant you. I am no traitor. That's a lie in thy throat. I charge you, in his majesty's name, apprehend him. He's a friend of the Duke Alanson's. How now, what's the matter? My Lord of Warwick is praised be God for it. A most contagious treason come to light. Look you, as you shall desire in a summer's day. Here is his majesty. How now, what's the matter? My liege, here is a villain and a traitor that, look your grace, has struck the glove which your majesty is take out the helmet of Alanson. My liege, this was my glove. Here is the fellow of it, and he that I gave it to in change promised to wear it in his cap. I promised to strike him if he did. I met this man with my glove in his cap, and I have been as good as my word. Your majesty here now, saving your majesty's manhood. What an arrant, rascally, beggarly, lousy knave it is. I hope your majesty bear me testimony and witness, and will avouchment that this is the glove of Alanson that your majesty is give me in your conscience now. Give me thy glove, soldier. Look, here is the fellow of it. 'Twas indeed thou promised to strike, and thou hast given me most bitter terms. And please your majesty, let his neck answer for it, if there is any martial law in the world. How canst thou make me satisfaction? All offences, my lord, come from the heart. Never came any from mine that might offend your majesty. It was ourself thou didst abuse. Your majesty came not like yourself. You appeared to me but as a common man. Witness the night your garments, your lowliness, and what your highness suffered under that shape. I beseech you take it for your own fault, and not mine. For had you been as I took you for, I made no offence. Therefore I beseech your highness pardon me. Here, Uncle Exeter, fill this glove with crowns, and give it to this fellow. Keep it, fellow, and wear it for an honour in thy cap, till I do challenge it. Give him the crowns, and captain, you must needs be friends with him. By this day and this light, the fellow has metal enough in his belly. Hold, there is 12 pence for you, and I pray you to serve God, and keep you out of brawls and brabbles, and quarrels and dissensions, and I warrant you it is the better for you. I will none of your money. It is with a good will. I can tell you it will serve you to mend your shoes. Come, wherefore should you be so bashful? Your shoes is not so good. 'Tis a good shilling, I warrant you, or I will change it. Now, Harold, are the dead numbered? Here is the number of the slaughtered French. What prisoners of good sort are taken, uncle? Charles, Duke of Orleans, nephew to the king, John, Duke of Bourbon, and Lord Beausilquat, of other lords and barons, knights and squires, full 1,500, and besides common men. This note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain, of princes in this number, and nobles bearing banners, there lie dead. 126 added to these, of knights, esquires, and gallant gentlemen, 8,400, of the which 500 were but yesterday dubbed knights, so that in these 10,000 they have lost, there are but 1,600 mercenaries. The rest are princes, barons, lords, knights, squires, and gentlemen of blood and quality. The names of those their nobles that lie dead: Charles Delabreth, High Constable of France; Jacques of Chatillon, Admiral of France; the Master of the Crossbows, Lord Rambures, Great Master of France; the brave Sir Guichard Dolphin; John Duke of Alençon; Anthony Duke of Brabant, the brother to the Duke of Burgundy; and Edward Duke of Bar, of lusty earls, Grand Pré, and Roussy, Falconbridge, and Foy, Beaumont, and Marle, Vaudemont, and Lestraic. Here was a royal fellowship of death. Where is the number of our English dead? Edward the Duke of York, the Earl of Suffolk, Sir Richard Ketley, Davy Gam, Esquire, none else of name, and of all other men but 25. O God, thy arm was here, and not to us, but to thy arm alone ascribe we all, when without stratagem, but in plain shock and even play of battle, was ever known so great and little loss, on one part and on the other. Take it, God, for it is none but thine. 'Tis wonderful. Come, go we in procession to the village, and be it death proclaimed through our host, to boast of this, or take that praise from God, which is his only. Is it not lawful, and please your majesty, to tell how many is killed? Yes, captain, but with this acknowledgment that God fought for us. Yes, my conscience, he did us great good. Do we all holy rites let there be sung non nobis in te deum, the dead with charity enclosed in clay, and then to Calais and to England then, where never from France arrived more happy men. End of Act 4. Amen. Praise be to God. Jesus Christ, John Rastafari. Bless William Shakespeare.